Hey Pat, did you catch that game last night?
I did, Mark. I did. I'm tired. I was disappointed, but that's hockey, right?
Yep. Hey, it was a game seven. It was close, right down to the end of the last whistle. That's kind of what you want to see at the end of the day, anyway. So,
Yeah, yeah. But I was sad for Connor McDavid. I know, everybody. We're talking pickleball here, but I
yeah,
was just sad for him. The work that team put in to come back was so extreme,
yep.
and it was such an amazing comeback. And to see it just fall short was sad. But anyway, let's talk some pickleball. What do you think?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
If it's pickleball in Canada, you found the podcast with Canadian pickleball players, pros, and addicts. Welcome to Pickleball Today, the pod, the podcast version of Pickleball Today.
Hey, welcome everybody. Pat Batty and Mark Bitchorf here with Pickleball Today. I hope everyone's well. I hope you've been gotten out and played a little bit over the last week. You've been playing a bit, Mark?
I have. I was at the court yesterday for like 12 hours.
12 hours.
Yeah,
That's
teaching,
a that's
running lessons, and some tournament play, all sorts of stuff yesterday.
yeah. Well, I've continued to play outside, but I also played indoors at our club yesterday for a couple hours and had a lot of fun with a good foursome. So that was nice. That was mixed doubles, and we just matched up really well. So it was a lot of fun. Anyway, we're going to here to talk a little pickleball today. Last week's episode went over well. We were about a half an hour. We're going to try to keep it at that today, but you never know. This week, Mark is going to be leading the show, everybody. Before we do, I'll just fill in anybody new watching us. We're Pickleball Today. We're Canada's national pickleball news site. Our podcast you're listening to or watching is Pickleball Today, the pod. We put one out every week. We're consistent about it. We've been at it for 6 or 7 weeks now. And we talk pickleball in Canada. So that could be clubs, tournaments, pros, amateurs, gear, lessons, anything to do, anything a Canadian pickleball player is interested in. When we talk about pros, we tend to talk about Canadian pros, whether regardless of what league they are in. But the rest of our stuff is, general interest to anybody, not even just Canadians. And we do actually have a number of U.S. Uh, followers and or watchers, depending on what platform as well. I've noticed we have a lot along the Canadian border in the West. Isn't that it? And
Oh,
I wonder if that's because maybe a lot of them go to tournaments in Canada.
could
You
be.
know,
Yeah.
yeah, it might be because BC, Alberta, Saskatchewan, have Manitoba have great pickleball communities and a lot of tournaments, things like that. So it might be that. I don't know. But anyway, wherever you're listening or watching from, welcome and thank you again. Our website is pickleballtoday.co. And today we're going to be doing, well, Mark's going to be leading in most of the conversation. I'm just here to listen and learn. And he'll be talking some training, some things that are gone on at our club that you may be interested in doing at your club. We also have set up a number of really cool discounts for gear in Canada. And I will go over that briefly, but not extensively later on in the show. We've set up a special page where people can go see those and all that, and we'll reveal that later in the show. Anyway, Mark, why don't you take it away?
Yeah, so up on the website we have a new training video from Catherine Parenteau, and she talks the volley shot. It's definitely worth the 5-minute video to go check it out. Main takeaway I got from it was when you're ready position, holding that paddle at 11 o'clock if you're right-handed, it'd be 1 o'clock if you're left-handed, slightly to that backhand, just easier to defend your body and your shots on the backhand. And majority of your shots do come like 80% are backhand when you're at the kitchen line, that non-volley zone, taking those shots. Obviously, she gives a little bit more detail on the tips and tricks and some training drills you can do to practice that shot. So definitely go check out the website, pickleballtoday.co, to see more information on the volley shot from Catherine.
Great.
Next.
I always like her training. She doesn't overdo it. Um, uh, when she and Athena are at it, there's a real fun atmosphere to it as well. But I really do enjoy your training, and I appreciate that she's allowed us to include it on our website.
Yes.
So a little update at our own club, Mark.
Yes. So, like I said, I had a busy day yesterday. We had our first ladies only Duper night. So Duper is like a rating system where we record all the scores of every game, and then it shoots out a number of 3.245 or a 4.019, whatever your score is at the end of the night. So that was very cool. We had 18 ladies out in our club. They each played 8 games total. The duration of the time was just under 3 hours, about 2.5 to 3 hours to get all those games in. Everybody did have a 1 game off kind of break too, so it wasn't all back to back. But the ladies had big smiles; they really enjoyed it. They were definitely asking when the next one's going to be. So the idea with that was just to give a competitive night away from just rec games for the ladies. The ladies wanted to just play against themselves and enjoy those type of games. So it's definitely something another club across Canada I would definitely recommend looking at doing a Duper night. The system is very simple. It took 30 seconds, if that, to enter the scores. And we could just do them as the games ended. We could just enter the score right away. And then about 10 minutes from there, it seemed to update everybody's rating.
So everybody has a rating after that, after the evening.
Yes, correct.
Good. Yeah, cool. And then those ratings are used for a lot of the tournaments that if people want to enter tournaments, right?
Yeah. And Duper has definitely signed some agreements lately, and they are getting bigger in Canada. We're going to see a lot more Duper focused tournaments and ratings. What I like about Duper is if you sign up for a tournament in Duper, then it's based on your rating. You will be put into the category that you belong instead of just assigning yourself to a category, right? So this avoids the whole sandbagging opportunity that we have in tournaments now, where you just self-rate and you put yourself in. Where if everybody has a Duper rating, then you're a 3.57 and you're playing against a 3.6. And it's very competitive.
That's fine, right? Yeah.
So,
it's like last year, the first tournament I went in, I self-rated, and yet there were and I self-rated at pretty much the lowest possible rating for my age group, and yet there were some guys that were incredible and literally a team that didn't lose a point all day.
Wow.
Just about. I mean, it was ridiculous, and they literally should have been a full point above where they put themselves in for the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And they got their gold medal, but it was a pretty chintzy gold. Don't mean to sound bitter, but but that was my first tournament ever, and I thought, well, that's kind of crummy. And I saw the other players are going saying, what the hell are they in this level for? I mean, what are they proving to themselves, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, but that's the way it is. I'm in the tournament again. I don't have a Duper rating other than self-rated idea. And I know we're going to have a men's one coming up as well, right?
Yes. So that's our next one. We're going to do the men's one in 2 weeks from now. And
cool.
It sounds like you're interested in signing up for that one.
I already have. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. 3 hours. Woo. Yeah. But I could take one break, right? So that's cool.
Yeah.
Just don't give me the break in the first game or the last game.
I think our first set finished at 2.5 with a break, obviously. And you can have a little break in between games. We're not like pushing you right on the court. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, and I'm just kidding. I mean, literally when I was in Florida, I was playing 3 hours each day, and there were breaks, but not a lot of them.
Yeah.
And since I've come back, we haven't, but it's just been playing opportunities. I haven't had 3 hours of opportunity so far, although my outdoor ones are heading 2 hours now. And
it's good. It's good because it builds up. It also builds up some endurance too, and towards going into a tournament. Because in most tournaments, if you're going to make it to the gold medal game, you're going to play probably 8 or 9 games, maybe 10, to make it all the way. So that's kind of the focus on it too. Is like, okay, 8 games. That's a solid amount. kind of to represent that tournament style without the pressure. There's no big prize at the end or anything like that. And you switch up and you have every game you have a different partner.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of ladies got to meet other ladies too that they haven't played much with or never played with, and it creates more of a social, fun atmosphere as well. They really enjoyed
Great.
it. Yeah.
Great. You'd mentioned endurance, by the way. Yesterday, my car croaked out, and I had to get it in for service. I got it in for service at my local garage, and I just finished playing 2 hours of pickleball, and took it. Once I got it running for momentarily from the pickleball club, and I drove it to the garage to leave it there to work. I had to walk home. It's about a 2-kilometer walk, but before I started playing pickleball, this walk, by the way, the last 1 kilometer is all uphill, like all of it.
Oh no.
It is, if you're familiar with Cambridge, on the Riverside, George Street, it's like uphill from Park Hill Road to, well, whatever Sunset Boulevard or further, and then up Sunset Boulevard to my street is all uphill too. Anyway, when I did that a couple of years ago, even 15 years ago, when we moved here, 10 years ago when we moved to here, I was winded on those walks up that hill at the end of it all. Yesterday, after playing 2 hours, dropping the car off, a little stressed about the car thing, walking home, I didn't notice a thing. Like, all got there, didn't feel anything going up that hill, going up the steepest part of the hill, nothing. So I was quite, it's kind of like you gradually get yourself in shape, but you don't really notice it yet, because I don't notice it in my appearance other than my legs, because I store all my weight from here to down the belly. But I definitely notice in my breathing and how winded I get or things like that. It certainly helps. So that's just purely pickleball. Anyway, aside from that, let's see. I guess the next thing you wanted me to talk about the discounts we have on our website. Is that right?
Yeah, we've signed up some new partnerships lately, and just a review of some of the current partnerships we have going on. So maybe you could share
it's a
what
good
some
idea.
of those companies
we've sold a lot of pickleball gear, but primarily with 6-0 paddles. I know that, again, you'll see a lot of Selkirk behind me. They sponsored Cambridge Pickleball Club, and they sponsored me when I became a certified pro or licensed level 1 pro. But we don't sell Selkirk paddles, or I don't have the ability to anyway, not being a retail store. So what we did is I partnered with 6-0 a year ago and sold a lot of their paddles. But we're a press site, and we can't just cover one brand of paddle day in, day out. People, we're not meant to do that. When we review sites, whether it be a 6-0 or something, or a Selkirk, if it's not a good paddle, we'll say it's not a good paddle. We are, we're trying to be an unbiased press site. But if you only had one brand you can ever sell, you can't be very unbiased. And even though there has been a model of a 6-0 that I didn't like at all. But anyway, so what we've done is I've gone out. I'm going to share a page here, 1 second, and we put it on our website. Just got to get my icon, my mouse. There it goes. It didn't move for a bit. Just got to share a screen. With everybody. Here we go. This is on our Pickleball Today website, and it's just called Paddle Discounts. You'll see it right up top. Here, it's obviously easy to find. Our website is a pretty clean website generally. But anyway, we have arranged discounts with a number of companies, not just 6-0. You've seen some of them we've talked about some. I've done some paddle reviews, but I wanted to put the whole list together in one spot. So we just did that yesterday, and we have them here. Now, in general, most of the discounts we get from vendors are 10% discount or 15%. Most of the vendors are in the U.S., so some offer free shipping, some don't. Some offer brokerage discounts. Most don't, but usually the discount that we offer compared to a retail makes it very comparable in total price compared to retail. And then some of these products aren't even available in retail in Canada. So there's a bunch of interesting ones here. I'm not going to go through all their paddles. You can look at the site if you want, but Naturally 6-0, and they actually have 2 paddles just coming out later today. I don't know if I'll get this video up today, but Tuesday, what is this, the 25th?
25th, yep.
25th at 6 p.m. They have a 6-0 Ruby. I do have, I'm not on screen, but a 6-0 Ruby, you've seen it, red face paddle, white trim, 16 mil. The new one is a 14 mil, so a little poppier paddle and a little bit lighter than the Ruby. The Ruby is a little heavy. Felt a little elbow issue.
Yeah.
When I used it, but I do still use it, but I do feel that issue, but I love the paddle. Anyway, the 14 mil sounds interesting, and that comes out later today. Crown pickleballs, we've talked about Crown on some of our videos. We will bring out a Crown pickleball later on as well. They've got a great discount for Canadians because they give a 15% discount. But they also cover shipping and the brokerage completely. So and duty, I should say. So there is nothing other than your HST or GST or whatever you have in your province on top of the balls or whatever you buy. They only do that though for bulk orders where their products are like $100 or something like that. They do have a neat little, by the way, mini net too. It's like a half width net you can throw in your garage or driveway. Good little dinking practice kind of thing. But anyway, you can't buy 3 balls from them and have them go through all the free shipping and all that. So their orders are typically 100 balls. And, so like you and I have, Mark, shared some. Clubs could get them. Well, anybody can get them, but, who's going to buy 100? You get a couple people together and you've really saved some money, or 4 people or something like that. Or, a lot of churches are having pickleball at their clubs, and, they don't want to spend a lot of money on expensive balls. Yeah. But a lot of them do have balls and or even paddles they lend out. So good for them, good for clubs. They do sell retail packs, so you can buy a box of 102, but they come in the actual boxes of 3. So if it's something a club or a church wanted to also be able to sell, it's a great deal for them. Now, one of the new ones for us is Volleys Pickleball. I'm going to just click on their link here just to show you Volleys. Some of you have probably seen it. Let's see here. There we go. Volleys is this is a paddle that was played by what's his name? The guy who yelled Andiamo all the time. What's his name?
Julian Arnold.
Julian Arnold, yeah. So he was one of the founders, but he had a falling out with them. But anyway, they do have a lot of pros playing their brand. They're very cool looking paddle. I'll just bring one up here quickly.
Even looked like Kyle Yates there, one of the original pickleball legends using their paddle. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, he's got this pink one.
Mm-hmm.
This is we're going to have some of these in the next couple of weeks ourselves, so we'll be able to do some videos about these. I've ordered a Mach 1 Forza. We may get a 2 as well, but anyway, the Mach 1 is an extended length paddle, and the Mach 2 is more of a traditional length, little wider paddle. They even go down to very affordable other types of paddles as well, though. But these 3, they're effectively the same makeup, are very, very highly rated paddles. So I'm excited that we have the ability to share them as well. Let me just go back to our list. Another paddle company that I've seen for a while, I know a player that uses him, is, oh goodness, these names. I'm so bad with names, I apologize. German player on the PPA tour. What is his name? Martin. Oh, mind, he's probably on their website. They're pros. It's a husband and wife team now. That's not about him. Anyway, skip. I won't get into it because I can't remember the name. Their paddles are really interesting. They have a pro line, and this is what the PPA players are using. Again, thermoformed carbon fiber. I find their paddles are kind of a stylish, like they really do
Yeah,
get into a stylish look as well. Not only do they have the more expensive paddles, they have some less expensive ones that are really sharp looking as well. Like look at that for $100. That's a nice looking paddle.
it is.
And these are all in Canadian prices. This Performance Malibu Canadian prices. Again, on any of these sites, you usually can go down to the very bottom of the website, and there's something about setting the currency, or by default, it'll default to the right currency based on where you are. So anyway, Holbrook, we have a few of these coming in for us to play and do some videos with and test out. But again, very cool looking stuff, I think, for people who not only want a good paddle, but want a good looking paddle as well. I like it. I like the minimalist look that they've got, personally. Again, and I'm a bit of a sucker for the looks. I know that sounds silly and that'll make people mock me, but I'm used to being mocked, so no problem. Anyway, 11.624, this is another really, really fast rising paddle company. Whoop, my lighting just fell off my computer. 1 second. There we go. Anyway, that didn't affect what we're doing here, but 11.624 has these paddles called Hirachi Control X, a wide variety of them. I won't get into the details. They're a bit more affordable, anywhere from, well, $197 to a little over $200. This one, excuse me, is a Kevlar paddle. This one there's some that have longer handles. They're just nice paddles, and some of the reviewers that review a lot of paddles are really picking this as a favorite brand right now. And with those, we have, I didn't remember the discount off the top of my head. I believe it's 10%, but I'll double check. Finally, Neonic, or a couple more. Neonic tends to be a value oriented, but again, a kind of nice looking paddle. They're, and they go from about $100 to $200 in Canadian dollars, $139 to $181. Even this Force, this 16 millimeter Force for $139 is a very good paddle and has been rated well by a lot of other people. So I didn't intend to go through the whole list, but I will do one more. Poach. Poach is a Canadian company. Brad Chapman from BC and family own this company. They make good paddles. I played this Havoc M3. Wow, did that baby hit? I mean, it was solid. I remember the first time I played with it. I think you were there. I had a night like I'd never had before with this paddle.
I remember you being there with that.
Yeah. Maybe it was just a good night, or maybe it was the paddle, or maybe who knows. But I remember I played with this. I found it a little hard for me in the long run, like a firm paddle. Not difficult, but a little firmer than I wanted. But boy, the first day I played with this thing, I couldn't believe how well I played. So it was kind of cool. And again, I'm a paddle sucker and geek. Two others to go real fast. Rev Pickleball, very affordable, anywhere from like $69 US up. I don't know what that works out to in Canadian, probably 100. Yeah, a little over 100. I had one of these, this Rev Aria 8.0. Well, I had one that was an earlier version of it, but very nice paddle. And then their high-end ones now are not too bad, $139, 99 US. I guess that's, let me double check on the currency. Here, I can set the currency up here. I'm just changing it to Canadian dollars. Now we'll see what they are. I changed it to Canadian. It's still showing 69. Let's see what happens here. Okay, 98. Yeah, so that makes sense. So from 98 for the Aria or Aria, the Pro here, probably 139 or something like that. Let's see. I shouldn't say until I look, but excuse me for moving around. And I'll go look at that platinum in a sec. There's the pro. 139. Yeah, my guess was right. And then finally this new one, which I've not seen before, platinum. And that's kind of a edgeless design, kind of, you know, like along the line of the design of the Selkirk Power Airs or something like that, or Lux.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not trying to get into each of these individually, but it just shows what you have. And so again, we have discounts for all of these, as well as finally Tyrol shoes. I wear Tyrol shoes, and they make wonderful bags as well. And I'll just click on that, and then that's it for me for today as far as any of this goes. But I'm sorry, I'm trying to go back and it's not. There we go. Now I went too far. And Tyrol, oh, that link, I remember I have to reset that link, so I apologize. Did I see what I did. I spelled it wrong here. So I have to edit that page. So Tyrol makes specific pickleball shoes, and I generally like them. I have 2 pairs. I've had them pretty much since I started playing. And as well as the shoes, they make these really nice looking gear bags.
Yep.
And I think fairly affordable for what you're getting. The tournament bag is a large bag. It's $130.
Yeah.
So
that's the bag I have right now, is the Tyrol tournament bag. I really like it.
They're nice.
Yep.
Yeah, they're nice. And Tyrol, by the way, is a Canadian company. They're based, the owners are based in Guelph. I think the CEO works out of Waterloo. And they were original sponsors in pickleball in the PPA tour. And then they are the founders of the CNPL Pro Tour or CNPL tour. So good guys putting a lot into the sport in Canada as well. So if you want to sponsor, if you want to help them out and help their efforts, go to it here. And again, we'll have a link to our page. I just have to correct my spelling error on that one that I showed. So that's kind of it for me. But what we're trying to do is basically build up a library of, if you want to paddle, you want a discount, you want to support Canadian Pickleball by supporting us, that'll be all in one page, and that is on pickleballtoday.co. You'll see it right up top, paddle discounts, or you can go directly to the page pickleballtoday.co/paddle-discounts. That's it, and then we'll keep that page up to date, and I will be adding the discounts that are appropriate. In all cases, what we've done, by the way, people will say, use code this or use code that. I've pre-programmed that in so people don't even have to worry about it. It's going right to our affiliate page with them. So when you go to checkout, you'll see the discount automatically applied, and you'll see that you got a discount either from Patrick Batty or Pickleball Today. And you'll get the exact amount. But just so there's no surprises, I'm going to add in the extra discount percentages here as soon as I have a little bit more time.
Perfect.
So that's it for me today, Mark. I'm going to turn it back to you, and I'm going to stop sharing my screen.
Hi, I'm Ariana Rodriguez, all the way out from New Jersey, and you're here with Pickleball Today, Canada's national pickleball news source.
A coaching tip here. One thing we've talked about lately is lobs. And it's one thing that I get asked a lot too, is how do we handle lobs? What's the strategy behind lobs? Even at last night's ladies Duper night, one of the ladies came up and asked about lobs. You don't see it much in rec play, but once the game gets a little competitive, like we had a little Duper night last night, a few more lobs showed up in the game. So yeah. It's a great way to handle, to mix up the pace in a game. When everybody's at the kitchen, you can throw a lob. Sometimes it stresses people out when they have to go back to get a lob. And then what ends up happening is a lot of people drive that lob shot back at the other team that just lobbed them. And that's the one shot we want to avoid, as we are the team out of position, and the other team that just lobbed us is ready in position at the kitchen line. So we want to give ourselves as much time as possible to get back into position. We don't want their lob to work against us, right? So the 2 shots that I always end that we go for is we go for that drop shot into the kitchen. It's a slower shot. It allows us to make our way back up towards the kitchen and get ready in our ready position to take the next shot. And the second one is you can return a lob with another lob. The time that you would do that is when you're really rushing back and you don't have time to kind of get around the ball to be able to hit a nice drop shot. So then you throw another lob back at them just to get them off that kitchen line, and it allows you more time to set up for the next shot. So those are the two shots I would focus on if you are seeing some lobs from your opponent, is the drop shot back into the kitchen or to lob them as well. Avoid that drive right back at them. You're just killing yourself by not allowing enough time to get set up, and then they'll use that power against you on their shot and send it right back at you very quick.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And then to get back to the lob, you're not running backwards. You're kind of going sideways or shuffling or.
Yes. Ideally, you want to turn and then run backwards and come around the back of it and hit forward, essentially. Like you said, we don't want to ever
but not just go backwards, go
turn
to your, turn to one side or the other.
Yep.
And then go back for it. Yeah. Initially I hardly ever went back for any. I had a bad knee and things like that. Yeah. And then I started to realize, I have time to get back. I just have to do it. Like sometimes I'm just lazy, and sometimes I'm thinking there's no way they're going to hit that in.
Yeah.
But there is time. If they hit a good high lob, you've got a fair bit of time to get there for it then. And it's not that far back.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So you brought up a good point. So lob communication is the other thing we talk about with lobbing, and that's mobility. So you and your partner have to decide who's going to go for the lobs before the game starts if you do get lobbed. And one thing you brought up, one partner might not be as mobile as the other, might not be as quick, bad knee. You never know what it is. And then you make the agreement that the partner that has more mobility is going to go for every lob. And then you understand you'll just switch sides. It's a good strategy if somebody's lacking mobility in their game. The other option is every time it's lobbed, you essentially grab your other partner's lob. So you go behind and grab your partner's lob, and then it allows you, because you're running on more of an angle to go get it, it allows you to be able to hit that drop shot back into the game, and essentially you switch sides with that.
I'll just ask about one thing and make sure that my perception is right. There's been times where, say the serve is real short, so I'm standing back to get the serve, and all of a sudden it's short, so I'm running like crazy to get up there. I may hit it, and I may hit it up high. However, the server still hasn't got forward, so they may be back, and then knowing I'm at the kitchen, they lob on me. In my thought, so I've just been running forward, touch the ball, and all of a sudden the guy's lobbing back on me. In that case, I would suggest my partner, be the one doesn't have forward momentum, be the one to get it, and then I change sides. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, that's essentially what I was saying, is that because you're up at the line, right? And your partner, your motion's going forward, so your partner slides in behind you, can easily pick up that lob. You switch sides, you slide over to their side, and you focus there. Ideally, the best would be if they could drop that shot cross court to where you're at the kitchen line. Would be the ideal spot to place that shot. But that's a good question. Yeah,
it just seems to make sense to me, especially if you've got the momentum. It may not be if you're just up there volleying, but if you are literally running forward to scramble to just touch a ball, I mean that you're not in the position to immediately put on brakes and go back the other way hard. So it would be much easier, even if your partner, who should be at the net, but it's a lot easier for them who's standing there waiting to just go back on the diagonal and get that ball. And then you shift over. So anyway, it's happened to me a few times, not a lot, but a few times. And I've usually, we haven't switched, and it's just a matter of, again, I don't play with it, regular partners all the time. It's different people all the time usually. So
Yep.
we don't have any process worked out. So anyway, worthy question.
Yeah.
So what, anything else you wanted to go over?
Well, that was one more tip I just thought I'd add in there, just based on what you said about running forward really fast to grab the ball, to hit it. Ideally, you should try to hit that ball soft and controlled as possible. Most people, when they're running for a ball, they then smoke the ball as hard as possible, which again takes away your time to get back in position. So just a
Right.
little tip there. If you are running really hard to get to a ball, then try to hit it as soft and controlled as possible. You do not want to drive that shot because you are running out of
Yeah, typically I'm bending over, not able to drive it, but I still overhit it because it's awful hard to hit a soft one when you're
It is.
running
It
fast.
is a tough skill to
Yeah,
master, but
yeah,
that's
yeah.
what you need to focus on. Be like, if I'm running really fast, then I need to try to hit that ball over the net as soft as possible in a controlled
Right,
manner, and not just whack it back over. Yeah.
right, right.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, just a second, Mark. I'm just going to take a second. I mentioned Crown Pickleball earlier. I don't know if it's pretty bright here right now. There you go. There's our little crown. There we go. These have been great. I've been playing with them exclusively now for 2 weeks. Like them, have not had any issues. I saw some issues that one day where we had the balls in the car for 3 hours.
Yeah.
And it was a hot day. And so some people hit and they immediately compressed quite a bit. That actually came back and they rounded themselves again over time. But I'm digging the balls. So these balls from Crown, I highly recommend. Again, they are on our discount page, and they are only available in bulk though, but they have a wide variety of colors. They also have indoor and outdoor balls, really good quality balls. Works out to $2.12 per ball when you buy in bulk. That's in Canadian dollars, and you add your tax, it takes us up to, that's including our discount, and you add our tax, takes us up to about, if we're in Ontario anyway, I know other provinces have lower sales tax, about $240 or $242 or something like that for 100 balls. That's a great price for balls. You can't find many cheaper than that anywhere for quality ones.
Yes.
Or for name brand ones.
Yeah.
And these are a good one. So again, if you have a group of people you want to buy for, or if you're building yourself a court or your church or your club, or you just play a lot or you lose a lot, great deal on balls. And we appreciate Crown for supporting us. So that's it for me today. Mark, how about you?
Yeah. We have an exciting weekend coming up, though. It's Canada Day weekend. Pat, do you have any plans for the Canada Day long weekend at all?
Well, I told you I took my car in for service. So right now I am carless, but I may be getting a rental car today. I'm waiting to get a call back to see if one is available.
Okay.
And so that affects plans. I am going to Stratford for a few days somehow, and going to be doing a little sleepover with my grandson.
Oh,
and
nice.
Yeah. And he's funny. When he's in a group, he clams up with people, but if I'm there with him by myself, we just have a ball. So
nice.
he's turning 5 soon. So he's just a great age, and he wants to play pickleball. So we played last year. We played last year with his mom and dad, and we're going to give it another try this week. So as soon as I find out about car today, I'll decide which day I'm going. So I may not be there on Canada Day. I don't have any concrete plans for that day, but right now my things are up in the air until I find out whether I have wheels. But how about yourself?
I plan to do some boating up in Georgian Bay.
Man.
Yes. The girlfriend's coming to visit. We're gonna do a good little family get together and enjoy the water for Canada Day weekend. So,
do you have a boat, or is it your family, or?
My uncle's got the boat. Yeah, he takes us out, so it'll be lots of fun.
Nice, nice. And I do it with my daughter's in-laws up in Muskoka, and just man, It's a nice
It's
day
nothing
out on a
like
boat.
getting out on the water, right? Like nothing better.
Nothing
Yeah.
like it's a great day on a boat when it's somebody else's boat. No, I mean, I'd love to have one, but I don't have a place. There's, Cambridge is a funny place. We're like equally distant, far away from every Great Lake, just about, or not everyone, but Lake Ontario, Lake Huron, Lake Erie, we're like 60 plus miles from each one. It's good for lake effect snow. We don't get much, but it's bad for zipping to the cottage, right?
Yep.
Although lots of people here go to Lake Huron, Lake Erie. Some go to Muskoka, Georgian Bay, lots. So my favorite is the Georgian Bay area. I will say I really enjoy when I visit the family in-laws up in Gloucester Pool. Oh, what a gorgeous spot. So nice spot. And anyway, I will be going sometime this year. I just don't know when. And right now, I just got to go get a car today. It's funny. I mean, we don't have tons of mass transit around where I am. Yeah. And I don't mind walking if I have to get groceries or anything like that. But to get to my wife's hospital, I checked on it. It would take me almost 2 hours to go visit her. Oh, yeah. And it's not that far away. It's like a 12-minute drive. But if I took our local transit, I'm kind of going to downtown Kitchener before I get anywhere near the hospital. Well, if I went and walked about 4 kilometers as well, I could probably get there in less. But anyway, it's a long way. It's just not conducive where we live for a lot of mass transit anyway. So I want to get a car because I like to go see her every other day.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Yep, definitely do that.
And well, you have a good weekend boating. Everybody who's been watching, thanks for tuning in. We went a little longer today. Again, if you want to see those paddles, go to Pickleball Today. You'll get all the discounts right there. Reminder, they are coming in from the States. You will pay, I mean, if it's a $100 order, they tend not to charge you any duty. If it gets up into the 150 plus range, then they tend to charge some. But with the discounts you've got and things like that, you should be pretty good. So, and you are supporting our efforts to support Canada Pickleball. We will be covering, by the way, the week after Canada Day, CNPL has their pro tour at the Good Games. I'll be covering it one day, but I'm playing the other day. Ooh. So I won't be covering it on the other day because I am going to go all the way in that tournament, and I'll be busy right through to the end of the gold medal match.
Yeah, perfect. What we want to hear.
So, yeah. And if I just don't show up the day after, well, it didn't go as well as I hoped. So anyway, we're going to give that a go next weekend as well. So anyway, folks, we'll see you again. Thanks for tuning in. Mark, nice job, and thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. I'll see you at the club this week as long as I'm mobile.
Awesome. See you then.
Take care, everyone. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
You've been listening to Pickleball Today, the podcast version of Pickleball Today, Canada's national pickleball news source. Pickleball, obviously, is our passion. And no matter what it is, if it's happening in pickleball in Canada, we're your premier source to bring it all to you. We hope you've enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure to like, rate, and review. Find our website at pickleballtoday.co, on Facebook at PCKL Ball Today, on Instagram at pickleball_today, on YouTube at Pickleball Today Canada, and on Twitter at Pickleball Today. See you next time.